In recent years, Taiwan indigenous peoples are pushing for autonomy, but being autonomous still requires legal base. Legislators have reached a consensus that they should be more active in creating laws on indigenous autonomous regions.
During the current session, we will try our best to ask the Legislative Yuan to review the bill on the pilot project on opening an autonomous region for the indigenous and make it a priority bill. I think the most important legislation is one regarding autonomy, since without law, there's no legal base for indigenous general assemblies. The problem is we need a majority vote. There are only 7 indigenous representatives in the Legislative Yuan, and trying to convince more than 100 Chinese legislators is a great task.
On March 4th, members from the Saisiyat General Assembly went to Legislative Yuan and Executive Yuan urging the government to launch a pilot autonomous region project, as it has promised. Regardless of party affiliations, indigenous lawmakers agreed there is a need to make bipartisan efforts to protect the well-being of the indigenous peoples. Still, considering that Kuomintang dominates the Legislative Yuan, it is still doubtful the passage of such laws will be easy. The indigenous groups have already set up the framework and are well prepared. They are only waiting to see if the government will approve the pilot project. As a non-partisan lawmaker, I plan to send a proposal to the procedural committee for discussion in current session. If my case is rejected by the committee, my indigenous colleagues, regardless of your party affiliation, should all stand up and protest. Those from the Kuomintang especially should support me. The draft of the Indigenous Autonomy Act was first introduced by the Council of Indigenous Peoples in 2003, but it failed to pass the procedural committee. In 2007, the CIP made amendments and submitted the bill again. But to no avail, legislator Jiwas Ali now calls on indigenous legislators to join efforts, regardless of their political background, to smooth the passage of the bill in order to protect the rights of the indigenous peoples. TITV Weekly.